Take note, Simon Ekpa issues powerful threats to Nigerian army over Biafran after recent mass resignation denial. Good morning everyone, and thank you for tuning in and listening to this headline that we got your aim this morning. As our headline for this morning says here, take note, Simon Ekpa issues powerful threats to Nigerian army over Biafran after recent mass resignation denial. The Nigerian Army recent press release denying report of mass resignation within its rank has been met with skepticism by Simon Ekpa, the self-proclaimed Prime Minister of Biafran. Ekpa, in a response on his verified X, formerly Twitter handle, dismissed the army's claim as a desperate attempt to save face. The Nigerian Army had issued a statement rejecting reports of widespread resignation due to issues of corruption, low morale, and poor welfare. However, Ekpa's reaction suggests that the Army's denial is not convincing. Dear Nigerian Army, we have many who have left your terror organization. You can never defeat Biafran in this century. While you aid and support the jihad in northern Nigeria, the Biafran Liberation Army will continue to decimate your foot terrorists in Biafra Island until you completely withdraw from our territory, Ekpa wrote. Ekpa's statement implies that the Nigerian Army is facing significant internal challenges, including desertion and low morale. His claim that many have left the army terror organization suggests that the institution is struggling to retain its personnel. Ekpa's reaction also highlights the ongoing tension between the Nigerian Army and the Biafran separatist movement. The Biafran Liberation Army, which Ekpa claims is decimating the army's foot terrorists in the Biafran land, is a militant group advocating for the secession of the southeastern region of Nigeria. While the Nigerian Army's press release had emphasized that service in the armies is entirely voluntary and that personnel are free to disengage following established procedures. However, Ekpa's statement suggests that the reality on ground is different. Ekpa's use of strong language, including referring to the Nigerian Army as terror organization, underscores the deep-seated animosity between the Biafran separatists and the Nigerian government. The conflict has been marked by violence and human rights abuses, with both sides accusing each other of atrocities. In the meantime, the international community is watching the situation closely, with many calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The Nigerian government and the Biafran separatists must engage in constructive dialogue to address the underlying issues driving the conflict. Until then, the violence and tension will likely continue. Well, and that is all we have for you concerning this headline today this morning, which says here that, take note, Simon Ekpa issues powerful threats to Nigerian Army over Biafran after recent mass resignation denial. And well, of course, I had it for me this morning. And if you're not a subscriber, the best you can actually do right here, right now, is to tap the subscribe button as a big red door with the notification bell, so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the first to get notified about it ASAP. Okay, coming to this headline that I have right here. Simon Ekpa, who is the self-proclaimed Prime Minister of Biafran, recently released a post that on his official X handle. He says that Simon Ekpa says that the Nigerian Army is struggling to keep his personnel. Yes, in a response to his verified X handle, he dismissed the army's claims as desperate attempts to save their own faces. Because the Nigerian Army had issued a statement rejecting reports of widespread resignation, meaning that a lot of personnel are resigning due to low morale and poor welfare. All these bad things happening inside the Nigerian Army. And Simon Ekpa reposted it, and his reaction suggests that the Nigerian Army denial is not convincing. Like, the way people are resigning is not convincing, because it feels that Ekpa feels that, number one, that they are afraid of the Biafran Liberation Army. They are afraid of the Biafran Liberation Army that is yet to come. And number two, we all know that Nigeria is not a better country. And if they're not treating the army very well, the army who are fighting for the nation, Imagine an army who is risking his life fighting for Nigeria, collecting 50k salary. You said, look at it. That's why that is why he's making all this army personnel leaving the army. And if the Nigerian army does not have enough personnel to come in December at all, or come in any other military, like any mission they will have in the future, believe me, the Nigerian army will fail. The Nigerian army will fail. Let me read out Simon Ekpa's repost for you. Simon Ekpa said that, dear Nigerian army, we have many who have left your terror organization, meaning that there have many people who have left your army. You can never defeat Biafran in this century. While you aid and support the jihadists in the northern Nigeria, the Biafran Liberation Army will continue to decimate your foot terrorists in Biafra land until you completely withdraw from our territory, Ekpa said. Until you completely withdraw from your territory. They just want them to withdraw from Biafra. That's the only thing that Ekpa wants. Unless, according to Ekpa, you know that two of them have been fighting, and the Biafran Liberation Army has killed the skulls of the Nigerian army, and the Nigerian army too has killed the skulls of the Biafran Liberation Army. It's just a conflict that cannot stop until Biafra gains independence. Yes, and while all this is going on, the international community is watching the situation closely, with the many people are calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. A lot of people have called for peaceful resolution, and the Nigerian government and Biafran separatists must engage in constructive dialogue to address the underlying issues driving the conflict. It's not by holding gun and be pointing at each other before you tell Biafra to surrender. It's about dialogue, negotiating. Until then, like I said before, violence and tension will still continue if these two people cannot put their heads together and do things like a normal human being. What do you guys think? Drop a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. Then tap the subscribe button, the big red one with the notification bell, so that anytime I have a new video, you'll be the first to get notified about it. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day ahead of you.